Rust.
What's happening, guys? I think it's Thursday and we're at the Hackett Pack Shop. It's been like a week since I put a video up on this channel for you guys. Sorry about that. Just been carried away this week. But I want to do an experiment today. For all of us. For education. I have this piece of steel here. I don't know what it is. It's probably, I don't know, it's kind of thick stuff. I'd say 16 gauge maybe. Something like that. It's a brand new piece of steel. It's just been laying around here in the shop. And it's got rust. So is what I'm going to do, we're going to try a few different things on this piece of steel. And then we're going to monitor it for a while. Is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a spot of the steel, like maybe this wide. We'll grind it down smooth. We'll put some etch primer on it and just leave it. Now we'll take another piece and we won't grind it down. We'll put a little bit of that spray can rust converter stuff, you know, that crap that turns rust into black primer. We'll spray it on there, we'll leave it. We'll take another section over here, and as what we'll do is we'll grind it down, we'll etch primer and put some spray paint on it. Okay? Then as what we'll do is we'll take this spot, we'll grind it down, we'll just put spray paint on it. And then maybe we'll take this spot, we'll grind it down, put etch primer on it, and maybe some car paint, base coat, clear coat. Okay? And is what I want to do, I want to monitor this for the winter. Yeah. And I want to see what works and what doesn't. Okay? The back of the steel, about the same deal. I mean, we could use either side, it doesn't matter. Okay? But I want to see what's going to work and what isn't. And I also have some lacquer primer. Maybe we'll just spray some lacquer primer on a spot. And then we'll put some, say, lacquer primer and then some paint over it. And we'll see what comes back on this thing. So this is something I want to do to educate you guys and myself included with rust. And we're going to see what works and what don't. And like I said, we'll keep an eye on this throughout the winter. And we'll see what we have here. Maybe I'll actually try to speed up the process, and maybe we'll just, you know, throw some dirt over the top of the thing and just let it sit in the ground for a week, you know, with the rain and the moisture and whatnot. And you know, we'll see what happens. A few of you were wondering about my grandparents' Blazer here. Here she is. The back bumper, I just basically ground it down. I peeled the bumper sticker off the back of it, and there was a hole in the bumper. So I ground it down. I actually put a patch in here, just real quick, guys, nothing special. Put a little bit of Duraglass over it. Okay, good enough. There's some rust on the bottom of these doors. I did a little experiment on this. I ground it down. It's something like what maybe you guys would do at home with without an air compressor. But I did grind it down, put a little bit of Duraglass on it, smoothed over it, put some primer on it, and I actually spray canned the bottom of this thing. But I got it halfway cleaned up. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I got it inspected yesterday. So we're just waiting for the paperwork to come back from the auction so they can go ahead and register this truck. This is a 99 Blazer for you guys that haven't seen this. We picked this up at the auction for $750. It's a 99. It's got like 153 on it. Something like that. I think it's going to need a battery, though. I don't even know what I did with a key to this stupid thing. I guess I left it in it. Dome light's bright. Yeah, I drove it around. I put about 60 miles on it yesterday, clearing the monitors. And the battery on it's a little weak. Yeah, 153, 465. But it's a nice truck. Even the air works in this damn thing. Another thing, one of you guys made a video request about a DIY engine compartment clean. Well, guess what? This will make some good video material right here, because this is about as dirty as they get. So we're going to do a little DIY video on this in the next day or two before my grandparents take delivery of this vehicle. I just wanted to get it inspected first before I did that, in case something we do clean in the engine triggers the check engine light. Maybe, you know, say the distributor or something like that gets wet and it'll cause a intermittent spark problem or something like that. Okay, so that's why I got it inspected first. Okay, But it's a nice, legit, tight vehicle. I mean, everything works in it. Like I said, the Airworks got a CD player in it. You know, I don't think they have any CDs, but this will definitely be a good vehicle for them. And they were going to use it as a van. That's what they were looking for. So I got the back seats folded down for them. I mean, there's a lot of room back here. I mean, this thing is clean, guys. It's a pretty clean vehicle. You know, by no means it's a rot box at all. So hopefully they will enjoy it. Even a damn remote works on it. So yeah. And this is the Impala that I took the heat gun to on the trim. I waxed it last night, so I got a bunch of freaking crap in here, so I got to get all this out of here. Looks like it's coming right out with my finger here. This is my driver now, guys. I got rid of the 99 Firebird. I tried selling that thing on Craigslist, and just I wasn't getting really any bites. I was asking $2,400 for it, and nobody was biting, so I swapped that off for a Sable, and then swapped the Sable off for this. So as soon as the paperwork comes back for this, I can put this up for sale and sell it. But it's going to be a little while, probably at least a month or so before I get the title back in my name. Probably 6 weeks. So this will be my car for the next 6 weeks. So yeah, that's a 2001 Impala. It's got 150, I think also 153 on it. And it's got heated leather interior in it. I think it's locked. No, it's not. But it's got heated seats, power everything. It's got a CD player and tape in it. Moonroof. It's got the spoiler on it. So this is what I'm going to be driving for a while until we get some paperwork back. But I pulled it in last night and waxed her all up. It's a good looking car. You know, I don't know why I couldn't get, you know, $2,500, $3,000 out of this thing. There's no reason why I couldn't. It's clean. It's got a couple little rust spots on it. Got a couple dings too that are driving me nuts. There's one right there. It's got a rust spot here. It's got a dinger there. Little rust spot here. Somebody did a repair in this hood a while back. You can see what's going on here where the paint's checked. They just, I don't know what was going on here, but they it's a very old repair, and when it's inside, especially with no glare on it, you could see where they did the blend. They just kind of did a bullet repair on it, or a bullseye repair, whatever you want to call it. But other than that, it's a pretty clean car. A little bit of rust right there. A couple little bubbles, but I mean, it's nothing severe at all. I actually like this car. This is something the dealer sold a while back, and it did have some rust on the trunk lid back when he sold it in July, and I actually just painted the back of the trunk lid on this thing. But that's all I've done to this car. But this is the one that we did the heat gun trim trick on. So we'll see how long that lasts too. So yeah, I think is what we're gonna do with this. I think we're gonna get the grinder out, and we're gonna I'm gonna have to try to find a permanent magic marker because I want to use white paint. Rust seems to bleed through white the quickest, you know, or it stains through the quickest, or whatever you want to call it. So I think we're gonna put some white paint on it instead of black, just so it'll enhance the rust coming back effect. And like I said, some spots we're just going to prime, some spots we're going to just use rust converter on it. We're going to spray can a couple spots, and we're going to put actual, you know, automotive paint on some of this. But I figure this is a perfect piece, and like I said, this will be nice and experimental for us. So let me grab the grinder and see if I can find a marker, and we'll get to town on this piece here and see what the heck we can do. Alright guys, so what we're going to do, I'm going to leave this just plain rust. Actually, I'm going to leave probably from here over just plain rust. The rest of this I'm going to grind down. Let's get a bigger grinder. Alright, let's give this a shot. going to tape it off here, or probably like right here in the middle somewheres. We're going to put that D-Rusto or whatever you want to call it on here. Now we're going to put some D-Rusto and etch primer over this. And then here we'll use etch primer, and then we'll use like etch primer, so on and so forth. So let me grab some tape and we'll get moving on this. Alright, we're just going to try this as Duplicolor Rust Fix. There we go. So we're going to spray this on here, and this says this is supposed to convert the rust into a black primer. So we'll see what that does. So what we'll do is we'll let that sit for a few minutes, dry up so we can put some tape on it and put some etch primer on it. Okay, so this is what we got. Rust Fix just over straight rust. Rust Fix plus etch primer over rust. Etch primer over clean steel. Etch primer. Oh, what do we got here? Yeah, etch primer over clean steel. I guess this one we're just going to do something else with. Etch plus lacquer primer over clean steel. Etch plus lacquer primer plus paint over clean steel. Lacquer primer plus paint over clean steel. And then just paint over clean steel. Okay? So what we'll do here, we'll shake up we're just using a spray can etch primer. I'm putting it on here nice and thick. Damn wind, some bitch. Now what we'll let this do is we'll let this sit for a while. Okay, so this is what we got now. We have our rust inhibitor crap, okay? Our rust inhibitor and etch primer over untreated steel, over rusted steel. We have just etch primer over clean steel. And then from here down we're going to have lacquer primer, okay? It's going to be lacquer primer plus etch primer over clean steel. And then we're going to have etch primer, lacquer primer, and paint here. And then we're just going to have straight paint over this steel. So let's go ahead and I'll go grab the gun and we'll put a little bit of lacquer primer over these areas. Just going to put one kind of thick coat on. I have this primer mixed kind of thick, so. You can hear the way it's spraying out because it's so thick. Okay. So now we're going to leave that. And then we'll go ahead and we'll whip up a little bit of, I think we're going to put some white paint over this. And we'll go ahead and put some white paint on this, and then we're going to see what happens. Okay, so I decided I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to use some spray cans. I got a little bit of silver here, okay? And I got some spray can clear. So that's what I did. I actually broke this board off halfway. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint over half of it and clear over half of it. Then the rest of it we're going to leave totally exposed. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what goes on with this. So let me get this shaken up. I got a bunch of these spray cans from one of the dollar stores. Look at that. 4 for $1. I figured I'd use them on something, rims or little engine parts or whatever. We're going to use it for this experiment. See if this son of a bitch even works there. Yep. Looks like some pretty piss-thin stuff, too. I'm just going over the whole thing with some silver. Then we can get double the scenarios too. I'll just have to mark more on this board is all. go. Then we'll take some of this clear coat. Shake her up. Pound it on here nice and thick. Can's almost empty. There we go. Now what I'll do is I'll take a marker if I could find one, and I'll mark everything, and then we're going to let it sit outside for a while. Let it get weathered and see what happens. Okay, so I couldn't find a freaking marker, so this is what we got here. The Rust Fix over Rusty Steel. Then we have the Rust Fix plus base coat clear coat over Rusty Steel. Etch primer over Rusty Steel. Etch primer base coat clear coat over Rusty Steel. Etch primer over clean steel. Etch primer base clear over clean steel. Then we have etch lacquer primer over this area. Okay? Then we have etch lacquer primer base and clear over the lower area. Then we have lacquer primer, just lacquer primer here, lacquer primer base and clear here, just plain untreated bare steel here, and then bare steel with base and clear on it. Hopefully I got it right. If not, some bitch. But it'll give us a rough idea. So until I find a marker, we're going to leave this at this. I'm going to stick this thing somewhere outside. Okay. Yep. You see the back, rusty. So we're just going to stick this in a location, and we're going to let her catch hell. There we go. Let's see what happens with it, guys. Alright, so we're going to call it quits for today's video. I gotta grab some lunch. Y'all have a goody. Talk to you soon. Later, guys.